In the past few years, I've seen a resurgence in the belief in astrology, at least amongst my friends and social media followers. And I say belief with quotation marks around it because honestly, I've never been sure how many people I know actually believe in it. Like, the smarter people I know must understand that it's just stupid fun, right? Even I can appreciate that sort of witchy culture as a way to daydream about a more magical world, particularly a world where women and other marginalized groups come out on top, where we can have this secret knowledge of esoteric arts, where we can make a rapist's dick fall off just by burning some incense or whatever. I know that seemed like it escalated quickly, but that's kind of the point. You know, many years ago, I used to give a talk about women's intuition and about how the idea of women having some magical way of knowing things arose in part due to oppression and due to men monopolizing science and technology for so long. In a world where women are told that they're stupider and then denied basic education for centuries, how could women find power? And when women did demonstrate superior knowledge or understanding of something, how could society explain that when they thought women were a bunch of dum-dums? Well, witchery. Astrology, psychic powers, and other superstitions tend to propagate in environments where people are uncertain, anxious, or feeling helpless. Over the past 5 years, women in the United States have dealt with a president who openly bragged about sexually assaulting women and who suggested that women, but not men, should be punished for seeking abortions. After he beat a competent female politician for the job, regardless of how you feel about Hillary Clinton, she was obviously a better choice, but he got the job. Sure enough, he then stacked the Supreme Court with anti-woman judges, and now abortion has been effectively outlawed in Texas. Obviously, there's plenty more happening both in the United States and around the world. And thanks to social media, regardless of whether or not we are experiencing more equality across the board than our society ever has in the past, our perception of our own inequality and the continued inequality women experience around the world is what really matters to what I'm talking about today. Seeing all of the bullshit happening as we doom scroll our lives away, it's understandable that we'd find some comfort in the idea of unplugging and losing ourselves in sage and candles and crystals and magic. That's magic with a K. No one wants to see your card tricks, Kyle. We want to summon an elder god to devour your sanity. But, and, you know, there's always a but for your local skeptical killjoy, isn't there? But lurking beneath the fun has always been the true dark side of superstition. Not ghosts or demons or swamp things or any other fun stuff, but the actual human monsters who, knowingly or not, severely fuck people up with their psychic abilities. Skeptics of the 90s and early 2000s saw this happen during the glory day of psychics like Sylvia Browne. Browne was a mainstay of daytime television where she would tell people about their dead loved ones, like when she told a woman that the woman's boyfriend drowned. He was a firefighter who died on 9/11. And Browne claimed that she was actually seeing all of the hoses. That's why she thought drowning. Or when Browne told the mother of Amanda Berry that the missing girl was dead and added that the mother must know that she's dead because Amanda would never not call her. The mother told local news that she 98% believed the Browne was telling the truth, saying, "Please don't misunderstand me. I still don't want to believe it. I want to have hope, but after a year and a half, what else is there? It seems like the God-honest truth. My daughter would always call home." The mother then died of heart failure a year later, believing that her daughter was dead. 9 years later, Amanda Berry escaped her captor and was found alive. You might remember her case due to the heroism and extreme memeability of her captor's neighbor, Charles Ramsey. That wasn't even the first time that happened with Sylvia Browne. In 2003, she told the parents of Sean Hornbeck that their missing son was dead, only for him to turn up alive and well a few years later. When John Ronson asked Sylvia Browne about what went wrong there, she said, "I think what I did was I got my wires crossed. There was a blonde and 2 boys who are dead. I think I picked up the wrong kid." That's all. She just got the wrong kid, you guys. No big deal. Sorry, Hornbeck family, for causing untold despair on top of your already unimaginable pain. Wrong kid. Part of me hoped that psychics like Browne were a thing of the past, but a smarter part of me knew that humanity would never evolve into something so good. Which is why we now have #psychic TikTok. This came to my attention because of the currently ongoing case of Gabby Petito, a young Instagrammer who was documenting her tour around the United States in a van with her fiance when she suddenly disappeared, and her fiance emerged thousands of miles away in Gabby's van, refusing to tell Gabby's parents or the police where she was or why she wasn't with him. With our society's current true crime obsession, this became perfect fodder for social media detectives. It's bad enough these idiots on TikTok were loudly proclaiming that Petito's fiance was guilty because he was seen reading a book about groups of people exploring uncharted terrain that go missing. That book was Annihilation. It's got nothing to do with domestic violence or murder or even #van life. It's got nothing to do with any of that. It's stupid. The amateur detective shit and the obvious profiting from the likely murder of a young woman for social media clout is bad enough. But worse, in my opinion, are the psychics who smell blood in the water. In the same way that Sylvia Browne profited off of the pain and uncertainty of the families of missing people 20 years ago, people like Angela, the unicorn witch, nearly 120,000 followers and 2.6 million likes, have hopped on TikTok to let the world know that she psychically discerned what happened to Gabby.
Yes, I can help find Gabby, but her family or police have to reach out. Otherwise, I'm just someone on the internet, saying what I feel and what I'm getting. But I did get some information the very first time I heard that she was missing, like a few days ago. I immediately did get information about her. But like I said, law enforcement or her family need to reach out.
According to her website, she only charges $150 for a 45-minute spiritual reading. That's honestly a real deal, considering that Sylvia Browne charged like 3 times as much and, has exactly the same amount of psychic ability, which is 0. The unicorn witch isn't the only psychic on TikTok. Unfortunately, the platform is infested with people claiming to have a link to the spiritual world that will tell them what happened to Gabby, like this parasite.
Aphrodite here, your pop culture psychic, back to another true crime reading. So this one is on Gabby Petito. She is a girl who went on a nationwide road trip with her boyfriend. She was #van life. He went back home without her and she is missing. The 5 of Wands is confrontation and the Emperor is reverse, a loss of control. This happened once, so therefore you're always like this, but that's not what was going on. So it looks like an issue with the van is the catalyst to whatever happened. He does things for other people and then holds it over their head. I think there has to be an accusation of cheating. I just can't find where it's coming from. It seems like she definitely has an issue when she gets overwhelmed with communicating.
Okay, so there's this psychic who apparently woke up on September 10th from a dream about Gabby Petito and thinks he knows what happened to her. At the very top, you see the coordinates 77555-72200. Those are coordinates to the Burning Man office in Nevada. And to the left of that, you see Trago Hot Springs, which is only 20 minutes from those coordinates. Here it also says he burns her here, he still has her other phone. Then in the bottom right, it says she told him about affair. Now, there's no proof she had an affair, and I'm not saying that all of this is true. I just thought it was really interesting, and I just hope she's found.
I'm sure that at least some of these people are close-eyed psychics, as described by M. Lamar Keene in his excellent expose, The Psychic Mafia. A lot of people think that they are special, that they have special powers, and they enjoy playing around with that stuff, giving readings to friends and family. But Keene, who was a professional psychic, points out that once you start charging people for readings and doing it regularly, it becomes impossible not to realize at some point that you can't perform as well as you thought you could. And so you start buffering your performances by cheating, researching clients beforehand and feeding them the information that you already know, which is hot reading, or taking cues from what you see around them or on their person, like a wedding ring, which is warm reading, or improving your ability to cold read, which is using generalities like, I see an older man with a name starting with J, and then waiting for your client to fill in the details. That's why, while I understand the desire to play make-believe, it's so important to make sure that people understand the real con that's going on behind the magic. Suspend your disbelief if you'd like when dealing out tarot cards or playing with an Ouija board with your girlfriends, but don't be fooled by scam artists who are taking advantage of grieving people.